All right, so let's start here, because for many of you, this is your first time. And for many of you, this is unfamiliar because you may come from a state where they don't allow this. But Georgia is a part of a handful of states that allow private persons to take out effectively applications for the criminal arrest of another individual based upon a misdemeanor crime. All right. And I know that was a mouthful, but effectively what happens is if there's a misdemeanor alleged crime that someone has committed against you, and either for some reason, the officers came out and at the time they didn't have sufficient evidence to make an arrest because either you didn't have the information or witnesses had left, or it was just a situation where it requires some type of magistrate court direction or aid, this is where you would come. The subsequent result from this particular hearing is going to really be one or two things. We're going to dismiss the application, which means that the person who wants the other person arrested, they're not going to get what they want. The person is not going to be arrested. On the other hand, if after hearing all of the facts and evidence that have been presented this evening, I find that there was sufficient probable cause, which is not, let me be very clear, not beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay, this is probable cause, meaning that all I'm finding is whether or not there was an alleged crime committed that has been made by the applicant, or rather that has been committed by the respondent, and that has been correctly identified by the applicant, okay? And so what would happen then if that was identified? Well, I would very well identify the fact that that person has committed that crime and would have to turn themselves in. And they would end up subsequently turning themselves into the DeKalb County Jail. And I would then provide them various bond provisions. But in most cases, we would be giving what is called a UJR. That means that person would be released without having to get up any financial bond, but they may have other conditions to them being released, okay? But that's what we're here about. All right, that next case that we're going to hear is Beverly Lewis and Tasha Sparrow. Are those parties here, or are they in talking?
Charles Warlow for the plaintiff.
I'm here.
All right.
I'm here, Your Honor, Tasha Sproul, and so is my witness, Kylan Johnson.
All right, Attorney Wardlaw, I don't see you. There we go. There goes your camera. All right, so Ms. Sparrow, I understand you don't have counsel. I understand Attorney Wardlaw is an attorney. So just be cognizant that the defendant is entitled to have a counsel, and this is still going to have to be dealt with you pursuing your case with the counsel or an attorney rather on the other side. With that being said, folks, I'm going to have all the witnesses sequestered. So can you tell me who your witness is, Ms. Sparrow?
Yes, my 13-year-old son, Kylan Johnson.
Okay, and is he on a separate screen? Okay, I see he's on a separate screen. Mr. Johnson, we're going to put you in a breakout room temporarily until it is time for you to be brought in for questioning, okay? So just hold tight and we'll put you back in. You don't work. We're not dismissing you. We're just going to move you to another room or another screen for temporarily. And how about you, Attorney Wardlaw? What witnesses do you have?
Your Honor, that's going to be David Rollins, I believe.
Okay. Mr. Rollins, are you here on the screen?
Yes.
All right. Oh, that in the same room with Beverly Lewis. Okay.
Yeah, he'll have to leave the room.
All right, sir, if you can just leave the room, find another comfortable place in the home, and then we may yell out for you when it is time for an opportunity for you to be sworn in and had evidence taken. And so, folks, this is what we're going to do. As you've probably witnessed, if you were paying at all attention, I try to do this and give folks a relatively equal amount of time to speak because I understand the importance of being heard. And so what I would first then do is get everybody under oath that intends to testify. And then we will proceed with allowing Ms. Sparrow to go ahead and give an opening after I tell folks what we're specifically here for.
Judge.
Yes.
Just before you go forward, there's another screen with, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Miss Sproul. There's another screen with your name on it. They're not connected to audio, so I just didn't know if that was someone else that I needed
to
say.
It's my screen because my internet is really sketchy. So okay. I was afraid that one of them would go out. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure because it's not connected to audio or anything. I just wanted to make sure I didn't need to, move it around before you guys get started. Okay.
All right. Let's see here, folks. All right, and tell me how to pronounce your name, ma'am, because I'm.
Tasha is fine.
You don't just tell me your last name.
Listen, between my mom and dad, it's either Tasha or Taisha. So I answer by Tasha.
Okay, well, I tried to give you your last name, but you don't want to give it to me, so it's going to be Tasha
Oh,
for now.
Sproul?
Sproul?
Yes.
Sproul. All right, Miss Sproul. So, Miss Sproul, you are here dealing with the allegation that of harassing phone calls, repeated calls. The alleged offense date is for March 29th, 2023.
Your Honor, it's not just for harassing calls, it's for death threats as well and threats of violence.
And some of those may be felonies, and if those are felonies, those wouldn't be applicable here. What we have here this evening are harassing phone calls. You have to remember that if they're allegations of a felony, we cannot hear those this evening. All right?
Okay.
All right, so that is the allegation specifically that is being made. I am happy to hear a little bit of background evidence, but as you probably witnessed earlier, we can get really deep if we go too deep about background. We hear about the allegations that are being made. So with that, let me get you under oath as well as Ms. Lewis under oath. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, under penalty and perjury of the law?
I do.
Ms.
I
Brown?
do.
All right, excellent. Yes. All right, Ms. Brown, the floor is yours. You'll have until about 7:21 to tell us about what's going on from this incident.
Okay, so just a quick background. I met an individual, David Rollins, in January. We quickly became really close, really fast, spent a lot of time together. He told me that he was single, but that he was still involved with his daughter's mom. But it wasn't a monogamous situation. It was not a monogamous situation, basically on the strength of his daughter, and that he would not be even hanging around her if it wasn't for his daughter. So we proceeded to have a relationship. In March, I don't know if you have my email that has all the timeline and all the text messages and things of that nature. That's when I received my first communication from Ms. Lewis. And at that time, I did not respond to her. It's unfortunate that I have to say this in front of my child, but the communication said, "So you want Dave to feed you and fuck you?" That's not happening. This man has a whole family with a 4-year-old child. Girl, please don't entertain him and his bullshit and lies before this gets out of control. Woman to woman, thank you. I did not respond to that. I screenshot it to him, which is also in the evidence, saying, "What is this about?" His response was like, "Oh, get the F out of here. I can't believe this." I said, "Listen, handle your situation, because you're telling me that this lady is just your baby mom's and you would not have anything to do with her if it wasn't for that." So I say, "Handle it." He says, "I think she saw when the phone rang and took your number." He said, "Yeah, well, he'll handle it." In conversations after that, he told me, yes, he handled it. I should not receive any more communication from her. She understands not to contact me anymore, no problems. There were no problems again up until May. In May, I was at his house. We were pulling out of his driveway in his vehicle. It was the evening. There was a car parked in front of his house with the lights on. Once he saw the car, he started driving like a bat out of HE double hockey sticks. And then I was like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" And then his phone started ringing. You know, it comes up on the car screen. And then this person kept calling. It said Beverly. He kept hanging up. So I later found out that that was his child's mom. And I guess, I don't know if she was surveilling him or what, but that was not the first time that I was at his house, but that was the first time that I ever saw her.
And Ms. Sproul, I don't want to rush you too much, but I do want to tell you 7:21, and we haven't gotten to that date where you're talking about the harassment.
Okay. So in between 5:28 and so the first phone call that I got from her where I actually answered was on 6/13. She calls me. As soon as I answered the phone, she starts yelling and screaming, "Stay the fuck out of my life." I asked, "Who is this and what's the problem?" She says, "This is Beverly. You don't know who Beverly is?" I said, "No, I don't know any Beverly." She says, "You know Dave?" I said, "Yes." She says, "I'm his wife." I said, "Dave's not married." She said, "Well, I'm his woman." She asked if I was the one she saw that Sunday at his house. I did not answer. She went off on a tangent about different things, including that he gave her syphilis and gonorrhea. And I said to her, I said, listen, if Dave is truly your man, please take this up with him. Don't stop contacting me. This has nothing to do with me. If he's really your man, don't contact me.
So Ms.
That's
Sparrow,
when she
tell me about the
threatened to
harassing
kill
phone
me.
calls.
I'm sorry.
And you said, when did the harassing phone calls happen?
This is on June 13th.
Okay.
So the initial contact was March. This phone call where I actually answered the call was on June 13th. She threatened to kill me and throw acid on me if I continue to see him. And I simply said to her, I said, "Well, I guess you're going to kill me because I'm going to continue to see him." And I hung up. I asked her to, and before I hung up, I asked her to stop contacting me. On
Okay.
6/13.
Okay. This is not that time yet.
Okay, sorry.
All right, because you're over. So what I'm going to do, Attorney Woodlaw, I'm going to allow you to go ahead. You've got till about 7:25 to give an opening regarding this matter. I appreciate it.
Okay, good evening, Your Honor, and may it please the court.
Of course.
I'm here today on behalf of my client, Ms. Beverly Lewis, a woman who has found herself at the center of a personal crisis, dragged into an unfortunate public spotlight through no fault of her own. The petitioner in this case is seeking a warrant alleging harassment and intimidation. However, this court should strongly scrutinize the motives behind her petition before granting such a serious request. This is not truly a matter of harassment or intimidation, but rather a strategic attempt to prevent a personal secret from being unveiled and to improperly make use of this state's judicial process. The petitioner was entangled in an extramarital affair with Mrs. Lewis' lover and is not here today because she fears for her safety, as she claims, or that she ever did. Instead, she hopes to use this warrant to insulate herself from the potential repercussions of her actions, repercussions which lie not within the jurisdiction of this courtroom, but within her own marriage. Further, she seeks to use the judicial process to exact revenge, since she has apparently lost their lovers' quarrel, and the object of these two women's affection chooses to remain with Mrs. Lewis. Evidence which will be presented to this court would demonstrate that the communication between Ms. Lewis and the petitioner were not filled with threats or intimidation, but just a justified expression of the emotional turmoil that often results in these kind of situations. Secondly, the communication was back and forth until petitioner decided to stop it via text. And third, that after her threat to make use of the judicial process was made to my client, no substantial communication took place after that date. Additionally, we have the firsthand account of Mr. Rollins, the lover they were quarreling over, and he's ready to testify that there was no instigation or encouragement from Ms. Lewis to harass or intimidate the petitioner. Your Honor, we respect and understand the significance of this court's authority to grant warrants when necessary. However, we urge you to consider the underlying motives and the evidence at hand. This court should not be used as a shield for those attempting to hide personal indiscretions. In this case, a warrant would not serve justice, but would rather contribute to an attempt to distort it. In conclusion, we request this honorable court to consider the merits of the case, the true nature of the allegations, and the actual motivations of the petitioner before granting this warrant application. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, folks. So, Ms. Sparrow,
Yes.
I understand I saw some of your email evidence. Or do you want to start with that, or do you want to start with your witness? Now, mind you, I'm going to share this evidence.
Oh, please do.
Okay.
Do I want to start with, I didn't hear what you said. Do I want to start
Would
with?
you like to start with your witness, which I believe is a young man, or would you like to start with it is getting late? Or would you like to start?
Okay, I want to continue with the email evidence and then I'll bring my son in.
Okay. Hold tight.
Yep.
I managed to find it. Let me just make sure I've got it. Now your timeline may not be introduced because this is really an out of court situation. I mean, it's not really. Get your text messages popped up. Hold tight.
Okay.
And counsel, I didn't see any evidence from you yet. I just wanted to make sure to see if you sent any.
Yes, Your Honor. I sent some maybe about 30 minutes ago, Your Honor.
All right. All right, clerk, if you can, I haven't seen it. All right. Sharing my screen. Now I'm going to scroll up here because I don't want to. So, Ms. Sparrow, we got a lot of text messages. Let me tell you something, folks. I've done a lot of these hearings where I have a third party plural type situation, and I don't know who a third party is. There may not be any third party, but what I want to just be clear about, I do see always a lot of back and forth text messages. I don't want to get lost in the sauce on these matters. So what I mean is, tell me what text message that may very well really be relevant to this incident.
Okay, so Your Honor, let me point out there are no back and forth text messages. There are all aggressions from her. The only response that you will see from me is a mistaken auto response that I hit where it says, please text me. I hit that by mistake going through her text. That's just an auto response. But everything is from her. She contacted me on WhatsApp. She contacted me from a fake number, and she contacted me from her own phone number. You will see no responses from me because there was no back and forth. I have no malice towards this woman. I just wanted her to leave me alone.
Hold on, Miss Sparrow. So hold on. Mm-hmm. Tell me what I'm looking at. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Okay, so I'm not sure what you're looking at. That's not from me.
Yes, Your Honor, that's our evidence.
Oh, that's your evidence. Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Sparrow, it's concerning. I only see a timeline from you. Do you have any other?
Yeah, the timeline is the text messages. It breaks down, the timeline breaks down every message that I got from her, whether it was from WhatsApp, whether it was from her phone. It also the information that I text to him. It has everything. It's all the harassment.
Just hold on. I understand, but the way you have it here, just trying.
If you go to the top, I can go from it. It's broken down from the beginning to the end.
Let me see here. We'll try to introduce this. This is the magistrate court. I'll let you at least have this introduced. Counsel, I know you haven't seen this evidence before, but nonetheless, this is what we have here. All right. I'm going to scroll to the top, ma'am.
Yeah, that's it.
So are these the messages that you're indicating that were sent to you?
Yes. So that's the initial, that's her first contact. So you want Dave to feed you and F you. And then that's me screenshotting it to him, asking him, the one in green next to it is the one me screenshotting it to him, I believe, asking him, what is this about? You told me that she's just your baby mom and you would not be with her otherwise. Why she contacted me. That's on 3/9 where I sent it to her. Where I sent it to him saying, what is this about? If you can further scroll and you can see his response. He's like, oh, get the F out of here. I think she snuck my phone. Okay. All right. On 5/28, that's my information.
These aren't specific text pictures, so you could have typed anything respectfully. So I'm not going to focus on what you've typed.
Okay, but I did show screenshots of evidence that she actually did call me. So that's just stating what was said during the call.
And you believe that's her number?
You can see Dave's baby mom, Beverly. You can see the initial one. If you go back up, Your Honor, you can see where she called me. And I talked to her for like 2 minutes and then told her to stop calling me. And then she called me back again and I did not pick up that call. When I went and answered her call, she began sending me text messages with threats of physical violence, even though I asked her not to contact me further. You could see her saying things, you're going to regret it if I catch you, I'm going to fuck you up. And, you know, other expletives about her vagina and things like that. That just makes no sense. Then she starts sending me pictures of her and him on vacation in California. She also harassed me through WhatsApp, which she deleted. You can see in the evidence that she I guess got wise.
You're breaking up, ma'am. I can't hear you now.
To what she was doing and started deleting her messaging. Okay. You will note that you see no response from me. It's all aggression from her. You see no, so there's no back and forth, you know. Here you see where I asked him, yo, I thought you handled your baby mom. She called me and she's threatening me to throw acid on me and things like that. And these are communications between he and I. She saw these communications, and the verbiage that she used from these communications, you can see in the evidence where she's saying, oh, you know, bitch, he's not going to get you lipo and all this stuff, is directly based on some demands that I asked of him. He had asked me to wait until he calmed her down. And I said, well, if you want me to wait around for you, you're going to have to do some things for me. One, the vacation you promised me. Two, I need some thigh lipo. And she directly spoke to that. So she was monitoring his calls. I'm sorry, Your Honor, you're going so fast. It's a lot of contact from her.
We're trying to
a lot of harassment from her. So there's a lot of evidence there. And once again, I will point out, you don't see me responding to her. It's all aggression from her. And then the worst part was when my son answered the phone, and that's why he's here as a witness. He was playing video games on my phone, and she threatened to throw acid on my 13-year-old child. So at this point, it had escalated to a point where it's just out of control. Once you involve a child, you're out of control. So I have to believe that your threats are real. You're going to tell a 13-year-old child that you're going to throw acid on.
All right, Ms. Burrow.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have, before, and Attorney Wardlaw, I understand this is evidence and this doesn't necessarily provide an opportunity for you to cross-examine anyone at this juncture. But Ms. Burrow, so for the respective time, let's go ahead and get your witness out here. We'll get your witness out here, and then I'll allow Mr. Wardlaw to go ahead and cross-examine you and or that witness, and then he'll go ahead and have his case in chief, okay? So let's get that, clerk, if we can get that witness out here, that young man.
All right, and my apologies, there are now 2 people in the waiting room, so I just want to make sure. Is it Mr. Edwards?
No, I believe it's the
Johnson? Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, I believe it's Mr. Johnson.
Okay, just want to make sure I'm letting the right person in.
No worries. All right, Mr. Johnson, Kalen Johnson. Young man, can you unmute for me?
Yes, sir.
And how old are you, young man?
13.
All right, can you speak up a little bit for me? I can't hear you that well.
All right, I'm 13.
All right, excellent. Can I get you under oath? Is that your right hand?
Your right hand, baby.
Oh, sorry, right here, yeah.
Oh, if you don't know, you're not supposed to know what hand to put up. It's all right. It's all right. You swear, affirm, and tell the truth, the whole truth under penalty and perjury of the law?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, Ms. Sparrow, this is your opportunity to ask him open-ended questions. Please do not try to color the young man's testimony. Please just ask him open-ended questions.
Okay. Kylan, the day that you were in contact with Miss Lewis, can you tell me what happened?
So basically, I was playing on my mom's phone, and then a random number called, and then I answered it. And then this random lady started saying like a whole bunch of cuss words. I don't know the specifics, but I know just like spitting out. I don't even know, just like cuss words and different stuff at me, and threats and stuff.
Okay. What was your response to her cussing at you?
Because I got mad, I was saying stuff back like B word. I mean like suck my B word.
Okay, so you said some expletives to her.
Yes.
And what was her response to you?
She said, I'm gonna throw acid on you.
Okay. At that point, tell me what happened after that.
So basically, my mom got on the phone and said, you know, you're talking to a child, and then she proceeded to continue started saying threats and stuff for you.
And Your Honor, I will note, I'm sorry, and that's it with Kylan. I will note that she knew that she was talking to a child.
Objection, Your Honor.
Okay, you can't. That's not what we do here, you know. But hold tight, hold tight. So, Kylan, now there's going to be an attorney that's get to ask you some questions. All right. So I just want to have you prepared that Attorney Wardlaw may ask you some questions. All right. Mr. Attorney Wardlaw, do you have any questions for Mr. Johnson?
I do. How you doing, Kylan?
Good.
Okay. Would it be true would it be true if I said, I'm sorry, let me back up. The lady on the phone, she never identified herself as Miss Lewis, did she?
No, sir.
And you said it was two ladies. Is that correct?
No, it was one.
It was one. And what did she say her name was?
She didn't say her name.
Do you remember the phone number
No, sir.
that the call was from?
No, sir.
And the date that this happened was 6/22, correct? Like June 22nd, 2023?
But I know it was during the summer.
Okay. And your testimony was you told her to suck your private parts.
Yes, sir.
And the testimony is that, there was a lot of going back and forth after you told her to suck your private parts. Is that?
Yes, but my mom went on the phone first, and then she started saying, stuff like more threats, and then that's when we got back and forth.
Was it? Would it be a true statement that you wanted to defend your mom?
Actually, it was the other way around. My mom wanted to defend me.
Yeah. Did your mom tell you that this person was bothering you? Did your mom tell you the person was bothering her before you got on the phone?
No.
Okay. How did you get this person's number?
We didn't. It was just a random phone number, and then I answered it.
Yeah. So you answered your mom's phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I have no further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Yeah, Ms. Sparrow, do you have any other questions for Mr. Johnson?
Not for Mr. Johnson, but I do have a few statements about that phone call.
We don't do statements. We don't do statements. Okay, so if that's it for Mr. Johnson, I appreciate you. You're free to go. It is 7:39. I don't know. It's getting time for bed, maybe. Who knows? It's summertime. All right. So if you have any other witnesses, Ms. Sparrow, we might be getting here close on time. Do you have any other witnesses?
No, I have no other witnesses. Just the evidence of all the screenshots and such.
And that's what you produced to the court as far as in that timeline. Is that correct?
Yes. I also have additional evidence of the recorded phone call.
Okay. Did you email that to the court? Because we didn't have that.
Yes, I did.
And I don't see any report.
I absolutely did. I emailed it yesterday because it said we had 24 hours. I got an email that said we had 24 hours before court to get it in. And so, yes, I emailed it yesterday morning, I believe.
Hold on. I think I see it. Hold tight. No, this is from Beverly. I don't see any. Ms. Harris, where is hold on. And Ms. Sparrow, all I have here is just the timeline. So what we're going to do is allow Attorney Wardlaw to go ahead and do the cross-examination, and then we'll move into their case in chief, all right? And then we'll keep this case matters flowing. So go ahead, Mr. Attorney Wardlaw.
Okay. It's Miss, how do you pronounce your last name?
Sproul.
Miss Sproul.
Sproul.
Okay. Ms. Sproul, it'd be fair to say that your marriage isn't going very well. That'd be a correct statement, right?
There's no marriage. I've been separated for 8 years. We just haven't gotten divorced. We are quite amicable in raising our children together, and so it's actually going great.
But you are still legally married?
I'm still legally married on paper, but we have not been a couple for 8 years.
And it would be a fair statement to say that you were really infatuated with David.
It would not be a fair statement. It would be a fair statement to say that he and I got really close really quickly. We would be on the phone with each other for hours at a time. We spent a lot of physical time together. He took me out all the time. I've been to his house. So no, I'm not infatuated with Dave. Sorry.
Okay. And those numbers, those phone numbers that you showed, those are different numbers.
There's a number, Zoe Campbell, that she called me from.
The 622.
It says, yeah, it says Zoe Campbell. She called me from a blocked number. I mean, one of those numbers where you can pretend like you're someone else. And yes, it was her. She spoke about Dave. She spoke about killing me if I continue to see him and so forth.
I mean, okay. Would you be surprised to learn that the messages you had on 622 were not with Beverly?
On 622? Hold on, let me see.
If I said they were with her daughter, would that surprise you?
I would say this. If it is her daughter, which to me would be ridiculous, she sanctioned it. She gave her daughter my information. So it's just, she's adding other people to the harassment. And her daughter is an adult, from what Dave told me.
Your son did speak. You do allege that your son spoke with her.
Yes, it's the same accent, the same verbiage about throwing acid. Like, how many people say they're gonna throw acid on somebody? It's the same stuff about Dave. So if it is her daughter, she sanctioned it and told her daughter to do it.
Did you ever check the numbers to make sure they matched?
It was the same number.
Messages.
It was the same number. The only number that was different was from Zoe Campbell, the fake number that they came up with. That's the only one that was different.
Okay. I'm looking over.
I don't think he's bad. I think it just sold so much information.
And you said, when do you believe Miss Lewis learned of your affair? I just want to ask you that.
First of all, I don't know of anything about an affair. I know of a relationship that I had with David Rollins that came fast and heavy. The initial contact she had with me was in March, where she sent me a text. And then I asked him to please tell, and I did not respond. I asked him to please tell her not to contact me again. He said that he told her not to contact me. I shouldn't have any further problems. Then once she see me coming from his house, everything just went crazy and it escalated. In addition, when she was in California with him, and she saw that he and I were calling and contacting each other, I didn't know she was in California with him. She really went crazy then, and that's when she called and told me she was going to kill me and throw acid on me.
So it's your testimony that she contacted you in March, but didn't contact you again until June?
Believe it was, hold on, let me look at my paperwork here. She first contacted me in March. She saw me at his house in May. And then, then she contacted me in June.
So when
she
contacted, I mean, okay. You kind of answered my question. So when she saw you in May, she didn't contact you?
No, she just argued with Dave, and Dave told me about their arguments.
So, I mean, considering Mrs. Lewis' situation, do you believe her being upset was justified if they were in a relationship?
Absolutely not. Well, maybe being upset because maybe he's lying to her and making her feel like, I don't know their relationship. He could be lying to me too. But what's not justified is threats of violence. And what's not justified is telling a child that you're going to throw acid on him. Once you escalate to that point, you are out of control. And I believe you when you tell me that these are the things you're going to do to me. So I have to act accordingly. As a mother, I have to protect my child. As a woman, I have to protect myself. You're saying that you're going to throw acid in my face? I have to protect myself. I have to take you seriously.
When did you
No,
stop?
she's not justified in the threats. No.
Are you still communicating with David?
Yes, I just spoke to him the other day.
So you still continue to see him?
Absolutely.
And I mean, but your testimony is that you're afraid what could happen to your son?
I believe that she's out of control and that she does not have her feelings in check, and that these threats could actually be real.
And I'm almost done. Okay. And you were upset when you found out David tells her everything that you say to him. That made you upset.
I don't know anything about Dave telling her everything I say to him. I don't know
Have you
anything
ever?
about that.
So I mean, I thought you said it earlier, and I thought this was your testimony that you told David something, and yet she knew about it, but she wasn't on the phone.
No, she was monitoring his phone.
How do you know?
He kept saying because she would respond the things that I wrote in text messages. She spoke directly to that. I had requested of him if he wanted me to wait around while he gets her in check, that he had to do some things for me. So she responded by saying, "Oh, that's not going to happen. You and your kids, your gay ass son, he's not paying for y'all to go on a trip," which was exactly what I asked him for. He's not paying for your lipo, which is exactly what I asked him for. In his correspondence, he says, "I don't know how she's getting in my phone." And if in the evidence, there's a text that I said, "Dave, your phone is being tapped." And he says, I told you so. So that's how she's getting the information.
No, I have no further questions for this witness. We can't hear you, Judge. You muted.
Yesterday, I saw.
All right, Ms. Sparrow, I will let you know the court has received that 16-minute audio recording. It appears to be between you and the Dave, or at least someone other than Miss Person. So I'm not sure if that's going to be appropriate, considering that it's not actually with.
There's points in the call that I put in the evidence. Kylan, hush. There's points in the call. I mean, I don't know you don't want to hear the whole call between me and him, but there's points where he talks about her behavior, how he can't get her in check, how she would love to fuck me up.
He's a witness. So listen, he's a witness that could be here, and if he is here, he can testify. So we're not going to use statements that are out of court to be able to elicit his testimony, right? So, and if he didn't want to be here, that would be his prerogative as well, all right? Mm-hmm. So in this regard, we're not going to give any current consideration of that, but I have want to let you know that we did receive it in that regard. Counsel Wardlaw, I'm going to allow you to proceed now with any case in chief that you have. Can keep consideration at 7:49. Folks, I want to thank you again for your patience. But nonetheless, normally the calendar ends at 9, but I will give more time. But we at least want to get through all the cases where folks have all the parties here, and if not, also address those ex parte matters. All right, so Attorney Wardlaw, please proceed. Was your first witness or any evidence that you want to introduce?
Your Honor, at this time, we'd like to call Ms. Lewis. Beverly Lewis.
All right, Ms. Lewis. Ms. Lewis, you've already been under oath. We'll go ahead and get you direct exam.
Can you state your full name for the court?
Beverly Ann Charles Lewis.
And Ms. Lewis, could you state your relationship to the petitioner?
For David, okay. To who? This lady?
Yeah, the petitioner.
Oh, I have no relationship with her.
How do you know of the petitioner?
Well, how I know about her is okay. I went away for 3 months. I was out of the country seeing about my sick father for 3 months. So I was out of the country December, January, February. I got back here March the 6th. On the 9th of March, I saw a text in David's phone. David is my daughter's father. We have been together for 8 years. No problems. We are in love. We have no problems whatsoever. So on the 9th, I saw a text message on his phone stating, some woman saying, "Feed me and F me." Excuse my language. I responded to the person and I said, I was very nicely, I asked them nicely, I said, hey, this man is lying to you. He has a whole family. He has a 4-year-old daughter that we are raising. Please do not take on him and his bullshit. Woman to woman, you know, was a nice text to whoever person, because the person number in his phone was, he saved the number as scam likely. It didn't even have a name on it. So that was telling how this man is, this was, you know, scam likely. But I text scam likely, no response. That was in March the 9th. We went about our business. I was just back, so we was doing our thing. April, May, nothing. June, you know, he was the perfect husband, I could say, because we have 2 houses that we share. He's here sleeping every night. I'm over there sleeping. I don't have to tell him when I'm coming over. I just go over there. I have the keys to his house and I just go over. That was on the 9th of, okay, that was March, April, May. And around Memorial Day, around Memorial time, I took my daughter to the birthday party. That was the 29th, which was the Sunday. When we was coming back, she said, Mommy, let's go by Daddy and sleep. I said, okay. Pulling up to his house, whoop. He just pulled out, speed out. I couldn't tell who was in his car. It's a Range Rover, it's dark. I'm driving a car. He came back, he told me, oh, it's nobody, and da. He didn't tell me who it was. It was nobody in the car. That was that was Memorial Sunday. We left. I did not send any text to this person, this lady, because I don't know who this person is. This person comes like nobody. So that was March. We had a trip planned to go to California. We went to California in the 8th to the 13th. So around the 12th, I realized, when I checked his phone, I realized some woman is texting him. And when I checked the text, that's when I put 2 and 2 together that it's the same person from the 9th of March. Because the same text I sent to the 9th of March, woman to woman, could you please leave my family alone? I realized was the same person. That's how I know was this person. Still wasn't a name, but she was sending pictures to him, a lot of pictures. So I saw a face, and that's the only how I know of this lady. That was in the 13th. I contacted her when we got in the airport. I called her and we had a very good conversation. I said, hello, this is Beverly. Do you know me? And she said, I don't know you. I said, you know Dave? And she said, yes, I know him. We are seeing each other, bitch. And I even started telling her why this man is cheating on me. He gave me 2 because I wanted to run away. So I told her he gave me 2 diseases and he's still going about cheating with other women. Why are you with him then? Why don't you just leave him alone? I said, that's not for you to say. And the conversation was not even an argument, was just a conversation. Because he was sitting there in the airport and I told her, I said, call him then. And then she said, oh, I said, even he brought somebody to the house because I didn't know who it was. I said, he brought someone to the house on Memorial Sunday. And you know what she said? She said, it was me, bitch. And that's when I hung up and I got on him. Yes, that's when I got on him. And that's how I know this woman is in the picture. It was not no argument. I hung up my phone, she hung up her phone, and I sat next to him. We drove home, and then I got on him. I said, hey, I'm seeing some text messages on your phone. Who is this person? Oh, that's nobody. That's a nobody. Okay. That was always his answer to
Ward, I got it. Hold on. Attorney Wardlaw had quite a bit in his statement. Now, if we can ask any other questions, be specific here, so we can get along. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds.
Yes, Your Honor, we can go straight to the exhibits. So she can look at the exhibits that we have here today. Sure, and if you would just explain to the court what's going on in those exhibits.
Bear with me here, folks.
Give us some context. If you can give us some context to the exhibits.
All right, so are these your exhibits, Attorney Wardlaw?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
And Ms. Lewis,
That was the only one that I saved off of his thing, but I deleted everything because this person was not even on my mind, so I just deleted everything. But constant text messages, constant calling, constant, I'm missing you, I'm at this spot, oh, what's going on? So I realized he's lying to this woman.
okay, now here we go. Some of this language has explicit language. I mean, was the petitioner also using explicit language?
Well, when she cursed me out, she cursed me out and told me she was at the house. I was at the house, bitch, with him. F you. That's what she told. That's the last thing she told.
Yeah, so when she said that, you said she said
I
what day?
And then on the 13th that we got back in, that's the first time
Ms.
I made
Lewis,
contact with this lady.
your attorney trying to ask you a question, Ms. Lewis, so hold tight. So, Attorney Wardlaw?
Yeah, so you said this conversation occurred on June 13th, 2023, where you called her and and she told you, and what did she said that was me, bitch, or
yes,
is that how the conversation?
Even the house, I didn't know who was in the car. She said was her in the car.
Okay.
Was she
All
in
right.
the house?
And when she said that to you, I guess you wasn't putting a filter on your tongue either, huh?
Well, I was angry, I was mad, and I just was sitting down next to him. So we coming from the airport now, and I'm just texting her. You know, who sneaks in a man's house? Because she's sneaking in. Because I'm there all the time. So
all right, Ms. Lewis, hold tight. We're just going to answer questions here. A lot of that commentary is taken away from our time here to get what we need to hear.
Okay.
So let's continue, counsel. Let's go ahead and answer the question.
Did Ms. Sproul ever ask you to quit contacting her?
No, only on the 22nd when nobody was not texting her or anything. She just sent this text out of the blues. I think that's after she filed the court papers. She just texted and said, hey, don't contact me. You were asked by both myself and Dave, don't contact me or something like that. On the 22nd, she sent a text to me. Out of the blues, which nobody was even thinking about her because Dave had already told her it's over, leave him alone, and XYZ.
Okay. And I got basically one more question. Your daughter contacted Miss Sparrow. Did that happen? Did your daughter ever contact Miss Sparrow?
Yeah, she contacted her. She was just trying to help me.
Yeah. And how did that conversation go when she was trying to help you?
Well, she contacted her and she told her, leave my mother, because I was crying, because that was when she said all the demands to him that she wants lipo and he said to her, be easy. You need to give me some time and be easy. I have to sort my things out. I need some time away from you. And she said, however, she doesn't want this relationship to end, right? So she said, I had a long thought about it and I don't want this relationship to end. However, these are my demands because you are my man. And she said, my demands are vacation for she and with a vacation with him. She still is pursuing him, a vacation with you, if not with my kids, or else she wants some lipo procedure or something like that, right?
Yes. Did you ever threaten Miss Sparrow?
No, Your Honor, no lawyer. I never threatened this lady. I never threatened this lady one time.
Did you ever threaten to throw acid on her son?
No, I'm not a violent person. Where am I getting the acid from? That is a lie. That is a lie. That is just something for this woman to get me out of the picture so she can come in.
And would it be safe to say that this is a really...
I have children. I have children too. I have a 4-year-old daughter that I raised. I don't have family in America.
Yeah. And it would be safe to say this was a very emotionally traumatic situation for you?
Of course, it was very emotional and traumatic because I've just been in Trinidad for 3 months with my little baby, seeing about my dying father. And, you know, it's 5 little children he have, and I was down there. I took 3 months out of my life with my man. I was down there for 3 months, and he was having fun with this woman. It was very traumatic when I come back here to find out he's He's
Okay, and very briefly, is there anything that I missed that you would like to share with the court? But be brief. Anything that we didn't go over that you would like to share in your defense as to this accusation?
well, nothing. Everything is more or less, we covered everything, Mr. Charles. You know, covered everything. So I think that's it. You know.
You know, I have no further questions for this witness.
Oh.
All right. Cross-examine Ms. Sparrow for Ms. Lewis. Let's try to make it quick and
Okay. Miss Lewis, you state that you never threatened me. You do realize that the the text messages that I showed on the screen directly show you saying that you're gonna fuck me up in the text messages that I put as my evidence, as well as saying if you catch me,
Sparrow,
I'm going
ask
to
a
reread it.
question. Compound question. Let's
Okay.
ask a clear question.
Okay. Miss Lewis, so you're telling me that, are you saying that you never threatened me
I never
with
threatened
violence?
you. I never threatened you with violence. Never. I never threatened you with violence. What I told you, if I catch you in Dave's house, because I come like I'm living there, and you're sneaking in there, because that same day that you was there, if I had not only stopped to get my daughter's McDonald's, I would have met you inside of there, because I was coming home there.
Miss Lewis, do you know that I've been at Dave's house on several occasions?
I have not known. That is news to me.
But listen, ladies. Honestly, it is 8:03. Let's get some some cross-examinations that are relevant to what's going on. I understand you asked her about the threatening language. Let's continue to ask about why we're here. I understand you had communications over several months. That's not an excuse to elongate this matter. So you can ask questions about the alleged arrest. Okay.
Okay. Are you saying that I did not, that Dave and I did not ask you to stop communicating with me?
No, Dave, you was not a thing with Dave for me. I am Dave's woman. Dave never one day say anything about you. Never to me about this woman, whatever. When I found out about you, he said, she is nothing. She is nobody. Don't worry about her. So it was not like he would come to me with anything. I am the main woman. You are the side.
I'm not a side anything. But besides the point, Your Honor, I have no further questions for her. I just would like to, I guess.
Hold on. Because that would mean that you're testifying at this point without having her testimony. So just hold tight. According to word law, do you have any redirect?
No redirect, Your Honor.
Okay. Any other witnesses before I let you guys get to any closing remarks?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to call Mr. Ray. What's his name?
David Rollins.
David Rollins.
Yes.
The individual.
Honor,
this is all over.
Yes, Your Honor, if he testifies, can I please submit the recording where I spoke to him and he spoke to her wanting to fuck me up?
Possibly, but he's right.
I did send it. I don't know why you guys don't have it, but I did send it.
I understand, and that could be used potentially for any type of evidence for me to consider what his testimony and the weight of his testimony. But if it's not directly relevant to what she did, which is who's actually on trial here, or not trial, let me be very clear, but has their testimony being considered. So let's just keep that in consideration. Now we've got Mr. What's your last name, sir?
Rollins, David Rollins.
David Rollins. Mr. Rollins, you're with me here. You are the man of the hour. Let me get you under oath. You swear, affirm, and tell the truth, the whole truth, and the penalty and perjury of the law.
Yes, I do.
All right. Attorney Wardlaw, this is your witness.
Hey, Mr. Rollins, thank you for being here today. Could you please describe your relationship with Ms. Lewis and the petitioner?
Beverly Lewis is my daughter's mother. We've been together for 8 years. Ms. Spurwell, I met her earlier in this year, and we were hanging out, having fun while Ms. Lewis was away, and we had a lot of just hanging out, having fun.
Did Ms. Lewis know about your affair with the petitioner? Did she know about your relationship?
No, she saw a text message, but she didn't know who she was. You know. Never
Yep.
said no name.
How did she react when she saw the text message? When she discovered you were having an affair?
Cursing at me. And what else? I mean, typical cursing out. What else?
She cursed you out?
Yeah.
Did she ever make any threats regarding the accused to petitioner? Did she ever threaten the petitioner? Did she ever
No,
threaten
she
to
didn't
do
know
any
what she
harm to the
was.
petitioner?
Didn't know what she was.
Have you ever heard her threaten to do anything to the petitioner?
No, I didn't hear it.
Specifically, have you ever heard of her throwing acid or threatening to throw acid
No.
on a child?
No.
Since you are the man in effect, as the court said, what else could you add to this case? What else could you share about this situation here?
Well, Ms. Lewis, she obviously found some way into my text messages and was reading what me and Ms. Barwell were saying to each other. And at the time, I didn't know how she was getting into my messages. She was intercepting them and reading them. And I had no idea. And then she started reaching out to her and I didn't know. And then, Ms. Sparrow tells me that she's reaching out to her. I'm like, oh, brother. So then I heard that she called her and they were back and forth with the B word, but I didn't hear any threats. They were cursing, typical curse words and stuff like that. But
it is your testimony that they were back and forth with the B word you
on
said?
the phone call, yeah.
Any other words that you
I was
did you hear?
in
Any other words?
another one watching TV, and I just hear all this. But I didn't know who was talking. I didn't know what. I'm watching CNN or whatever, and I just hear this yelling, and I'm like, I had no idea they were reaching out like that. I said, both of y'all, that's like silly. Stop it. I'm not worth all that. There's no need to be fighting. I told Miss Sparwell, chill out, let me calm her down, or whatever. Then Miss Sparwell said, no, if you want me to chill, then I got some demands. I want you to send me on vacation. I want you to pay for lipo.
So your testimony is the demands were in response to the conversation they had?
Yeah, because I was like, I can't keep.
Did you relay that information to? Did you ever share that with Ms. Lewis?
Did I share what?
I mean, because she eventually found out about the liposuction request. Did you share with Ms. Lewis? That's why
she got it unbeknownst to me. Because Ms. Sparrow said, yo, your phone is tapped. She said she's called her or said it to her in a conversation about the lipo. And I'm like, how the hell? This was like real-time information being, she's tapped in on my text messages.
Wardlaw.
So I said, well, until I'm saying to myself, well, I can't text you no more. Let me just fall together until I figure this out. And then she sent me the text messages with the request. And I said, nah, I can't do that. I said, let me stop in my tracks right at this point. And I said,
okay, thank you, Mr. Rollins. I have no further questions for this witness.
All right, Ms. Sparrow. Please, let's be respectful and reasonable. We're in court. If you have any questions for Mr.
Yes, Mr. Rollins, on any occasion, have you and I discussed her threats towards me and you being unable to stop her?
We discussed what you said, she said. And I said,
okay. On any occasion,
I said,
did you have a discussion with her where she told you what she would like to do to me?
She said she'd like to grab you if she saw you in the house.
Grab me? Or is that the only words? Because I have a recording that says otherwise.
That's what I recall at the moment.
Okay, Mr. Rollins, it has been brought to the court by Ms. Lewis that, according to her, I'm doing this because you have cut me off or spurned me. When is the last time we spoke?
I spoke to you last week after we got the court notice, because I like, why did you file that?
How long was that conversation?
Probably a half hour.
Actually, it was 1 hour and 7 minutes. Can I ask you, did we talk about more than just the court situation?
I don't know. We talked about you going to Dallas, hanging out. I don't know what party you went to. Just casual conversation.
When we talk, Mr. Rollins, have you cut me off, or have you told me that you missed me?
Objection, Your Honor. This isn't relevant to my
It is
client's-
relevant because, Your Honor, it's relevant because she's saying that the reason why I brought this on is because he cut me off. When in actuality, that has
Sorry,
never
asked and
happened.
answered, Your Honor.
He has actually.
I'm going to allow the
continued-
question because it is within the vein of things that were alleged, but I'm not going to get deep in the weeds, Ms. Sparrow. Okay.
Okay, I'm trying not to get deep in the weeds, but I just
Well,
want to
when
make sure it's understood
I'll say
that
that
the
when,
relationship.
Ms. Sparrow, he can't answer if you're talking.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'll say that when I told you I wasn't gonna do the vacation or to pay for the surgery, like you said, all right, well, I need you to not contact me, and I obliged your wishes. I stopped contacting you.
Did you contact me? Dave, did you contact me after that saying that you missed me?
I said I miss my friend. I did. Because we had very friendly conversations, not just, you know,
Okay,
we
so you
talked
did
about a
contact
lot
me
of
after
different various
Okay.
things that have nothing.
Objection, Your Honor. Same objection.
Okay, so again, I just wanted to be seen that there was never him cutting me off, and that is not the reason why I brought this before the court. I brought this before the court because I don't want acid thrown in my face, and I don't want my son hurt, and that is the
Objection, Your
only
Honor.
reason.
Objection.
And Ms. Sparrow, listen, I understand you're testifying, but it's okay. I can see past what is not applicable here.
Right.
So,
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know what's. I just know
but
that I need information.
Speaking out of turn is never
I
good.
apologize. I apologize.
So this is what we'll do then. Do you have any other witnesses, Attorney Wardlaw?
That concludes my case. That concludes the defense's case.
All right, excellent. So what we're going to do, Ms. Sparrow and Attorney Wardlaw, we're coming to the conclusion. It is 8:14. I'm going to give you, Ms. Sparrow, 2 minutes to indicate why you believe that harassing phone calls transpired between you and Ms. Lewis, which is the allegation. And obviously, Attorney Wardlaw will be alleging that there was no allegation. I mean, there was no harassing phone calls actually proven under Georgia law. So it is now 8:15. We'll have to 8:17.
Okay, Your Honor, I just want to state that the evidence that was presented by me as well as Ms. Lewis shows all of the aggression from her. You don't see any response from me. I think when the attorney showed it, he scrolled through it as if that was me with the text messages. All those text messages are her. And in addition, Your Honor, she perjured the court when she said that she never threatened me. The evidence that I showed you clearly states that she said in the text message, I'm gonna fuck you up, and if I catch you, you're gonna be sorry. My son also testified about the verbiage of throwing acid in his face. I also testified about that same verbiage. I guess she has a thing about acid, as well as her telling me that she's going to kill me. These there are a slew of text messages There is a slew of there's WhatsApp messages, and then also the fake number that she called me from, Zoe Campbell. I had blocked her on everything that I could block her on. In addition, I still get phone calls from weird numbers. I just stopped answering them. So I don't know if this behavior is continuing. All I'm saying is, Your Honor, it needs to be checked that she doesn't continue to do this, especially when there's a child involved. I believe her when she says that she wants to hurt me. I believe her. And the evidence has showed that she has threatened me. She perjured herself by saying that she has not threatened me. In addition, I have voice messages from Dave stating the same. Why your court doesn't have it, I don't know, but I did email it yesterday. I can email it again. It's a conversation he and I had, and he's saying she would love to fuck you up. I can't stop her. I can't control her. He's saying all of that in the recording.
I understand, and I do have the recording, but
Okay.
I've listened to it. But again, Attorney Wardlaw.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll start by saying, Your Honor, over the course of the hearing, we had the opportunity to hear the accusations leveled by the petitioner against my client, Ms. Beverly Lewis, and they lack both in substance and in motive. Ms. Lewis, as was established, did contact the petitioner following the discovery of a deeply personal and emotionally charged situation. The contact, however, did not in any way consist of threats or acts of intimidation. Instead, this is a situation where the petitioner is seeking to use the judicial system in a lover's quarrel. And by allowing this warrant application, the court would be enabling her misuse of the judicial system. And we must not, and we shouldn't let the gravity of a warrant be diminished by her ulterior motives. I would close by saying the petitioner's case is not about the pursuit of justice, but it's about an attempt to avoid and to inflict harm using the judicial system. I urge this court to uphold the true spirit of the law, the real pursuit of justice, and protect the integrity of the legal institution. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, folks. Let me just state one thing. It is not my job to address really civil lovers' quarrels. Let's just be clear. I'm here about crimes. I'm here about protecting the safety of DeKalb County and the community. That's my job. My job is not to address lovers' quarrels. What I have heard is a clear lovers' quarrel. What I have also heard are allegations from a young man indicating that someone told him they were going to throw acid on him. But I also have heard evidence that very well that phone call could have been made by another individual. Neither of those individuals are the persons or the parties actually involved in this matter, nor your son, nor the other individual that very well is alleged to have made that call to you, Ms. What we do have and what the evidence clearly showed is, again, a lover's quarrel. A quarrel about people not being honest with each other. And now that dishonesty is here blasted on this screen. Now, I'm not so sure how you guys feel about your personal business being blasted. That's on you. But I do understand the concerns about safety. But again, the evidence did not indicate that Miss Lewis made that allegation of throwing acid. I don't see that. Now, whether or not
the text message says she's gonna fuck me up, though.
Miss Pearl.
I'm sorry.
Listen, you gotta recognize if I'm talking, and I've been listening to y'all for that amount of time, give me that time. It'll be short.
I'm sorry.
It'll be brief, but it'll be informative. Okay. And all I'm just trying to express to you is that, look, I only seen a couple of text messages. I seen her say, if you step foot in my house, I'm gonna beat you up. But that's if you step foot in my house. That's what the text message said. It didn't say, as soon as I see you, I'm gonna beat you up on sight. Didn't see it. But what I'm saying to you is, folks, that even if I was to put you or her in jail, right, that would not resolve the overall issues that are really between you guys, because it may still be going on. It may still be going on, but that's not for the court to make a determination on. I'm here to determine whether or not someone, Ms. Sproul particularly, made a threat of bodily harm via communication, email, text message. Well, someone saying what they will do if you step in their home isn't going to be suffice. And all the other communications are obviously back and forth trash talk. Trash talk. And so because of that, folks, I'm not going to be issuing an arrest warrant this evening, but I will make a suggestion. If you can't get it together with who you're with, expect this to happen again, but don't expect the court to clean up your civil issues. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. But with that being said, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you have a blessed evening, young man. I hope you get some good sleep and enjoy the rest of your summer. You guys are free.
It's
to
okay.
leave.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.